first annual Baddies Rideout. Anyways, I just want to say that thank you. We're gonna have only one stop today. Gas some shine. Oh yes, ladies.
What's up, YouTube? This is part 2 of the Baddies first annual girl ride. And we had a pit stop on the way to the final destination, which was the Bikini Bike Wash that was in Laurel, hosted by a bunch of Latina and Latino riders. It was hot as shit outside, so this is where the pit stop came into play because one, I was thirsty as a motherfucker and I had to get something to drink. Two, I had to chill because it was hot and you kind of need that little in between breather. And three, because I don't know if some people fueled up because again, it was hot. People was doing a lot of revving, and I don't know if people filled up their gas tank before we left. So this was just a nice little pit stop where we can chill, get something to eat, get something to drink. And me, I went into that Subway over here and sat in that fucking air conditioning for a minute. My back was sweating, fucking everything was sweating. It was just so fucking uncomfortable, along with my shoes not working. Because if you listen to the first one, my shoes melted. So yeah, I had to I had to let my feet breathe, I guess you could say, with my sneaker flip flops. But that's neither here or there. I'm gonna stop talking about that shit because that shit was fucking funny. I don't care what nobody say. And like I said before, whoever was behind me, I know my shoes was talking to you like, nigga, it's hot as shit. But anyway, a couple like I said, the girls are up front, so I was kind of going back and forth between the front and the back of the pack just to capture as much footage as I could. And a couple homegirls came out. We had Aaron, who had the Bugs Bunny Booster. We had Alana, who has a 650 Ninja Kawasaki. And we had Alex, who had, I think she had a GIXXs 1000 or a 750. I got to check that shit again, but yeah. So anyway, like I said, as we were leaving the pit stop, we hit the highway, and there was another total takeover. Basically, if traffic was moving, we pretty much told them they had to stop because we kind of took up all the lanes at the end of the day, and we were just, riding and vibing, I guess you could say. I even had my music on in my helmet. So I was kind of zoning out a little bit, just enjoying the whole ride in itself and trying to capture as many stunts as I could and just the overall picture of this ride. So hopefully, again, like I said in the first video, this 3 hours of footage that I'm trying to condense down to about 20 minutes. So again, I'm just giving you the gist of how this shit was operating, along with how some people was just acting retarded, I guess you could say. But like I said, ladies ride too. So, and I'm glad they came out because it was, to me, this is how I kind of put it. Motorcycle riding is more like a male-dominated sport, right? So when you have females that do come out, it kind of gives a balance to riding motorcycles, because again, you don't see it often, but when you do see it, it's kind of like a shocker. And like I said, my homegirl Erin, who has a Bugs Bunny Hayabusa that was wrapped, that shocked me because I was like, damn, I know she has a cruiser too, but I'm like, she pulled out the booster, and I'm like, and me, I mean, I'm a fan of Hayabusa. So when I seen her on her boost, I was like, yeah, she a true rider. And again, we had other women out there with different types of bikes, and like I said, they was doing their damn thing. You had people wheeling, you had people drifting, you had people doing burnouts and revving loud as shit. So that's just what it was. So this was the takeover on the highway, and like I said, when you have 100+ bikes, ain't shit nobody can do really. I mean, cars just got to fall back and just wait till we either exit or you get a chance to, I guess, speed passes, which I don't know. I don't know about that part. But as you can see, we were just chilling and vibing out. And like I said, I had my helmet on. I had my music on in my helmet, and I was just kind of zoning out and just enjoying this hot ass day with my sneakers melting. But you see Alana and you see Aaron right up in front of me, and Alana is a new rider, so she getting the hang of things and riding in group rides, and Aaron is seasoned. So shit, you got to be seasoned if you got a fucking booster. Like that's not just something you just start on a first bike. Whereas Alana got her 650, which is more like a starter bike. So her riding and having Aaron riding side by side, they was just chilling. And like I said, you see people up in front of them doing wheelies and whatnot. And like I said, I think the women bring a balance to this sport because, again, you don't see women really getting reckless as the men do. And sometimes it kind of tones down the action that goes on, I guess you could say. And again, I'm just freestyling this shit. I may not know what the fuck I'm talking about, but shit, I'm just enjoying the shit. I think it was, like I said, about between 25, 35 women out there, and they was just doing their thing. Shit. What else? I'm trying to think what else happened on this ride where I can point out. Um, I mentioned the crashes, and listen, and most I don't know how can I say this properly. I guess you could say most men in this sport prefer to have women in their crew when riding, because again, it's a balance that it brings. Um, because we can get hot at times where I know just the guys in my crew, some of them can be some hotheads, and you kind of need that balance where the women just be like, yo, you need to chill the fuck out. You know what I mean? So having a nice diverse group always bring a good crew together, I think, because it's just certain perspectives in life that we talk about, and we can learn from each other. And again, everybody in my crew have professional careers, so and we are, I would say, we are all resourceful, uh, and just life experience. So, like I said, whenever there's an issue within the crew, we can reach out to somebody because it's a community. We can reach out to somebody that can either help or refer or give you some, advice about something, because we all been through it. Because it's just a part of life, like I said. And not to get too personal, but we did have a female in our crew who got arrested. So and had to go through the whole legal system. But because of who is in her crew, she reached out to us and we helped her out. And now, she's home, but I mean, you still got to go through the court system and all that. But uh, we were able to get some of her charges lessened a little bit, and we'll see the outcome. Again, at the end of the day, the judge makes the decision, and none of us are judges. But in our crew, we have some influential people, I guess you could say. So with that being said, whenever there's an issue, we try to help out, and I think that's part of having a good crew. Now, you got some crews that just reckless. I mean, they just want to be hotheads and live that bike life as if they they goons or some shit. We more professional. We got, if you look at some prior videos where I introduce who my crew is, you'll get a gist of how we operate. So, and it's always a welcoming. We all got welcoming personalities, um, and yeah, and that's just what it is. So again, most people don't like most people don't want to be a part of like a motorcycle crew or like a 1%er crew, because if you ask me, I don't know what's the difference between having just a group of close friends that ride versus having a motorcycle crew. I'm sure it's more like legalities about it, as far as paying dues and rules and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, just having a group of friends that have good common sense, I think that kind of equates to the same as having um, a motorcycle crew or being in those 1%er crews. So again, I'm sure you heard of like Hell's Angels and all those type of 1%er crews, and there's a multitude of motorcycle clubs that's just around the DMV, and then you just have groups of people that just ride together that are just cool friends. So again, we mostly, for the most part, they all get along, and I don't see the the big difference in it. Like I said, besides the legality part and being official and registering and paying dues and doing whatnot. So that's just what it come down to. So uh when we got off the highway, as you can see, is a bunch of bikes out here, and it was a couple people up front that were doing some wheelies and doing some 360s while at the light, and it was just a spectacle. As we were going through the city streets, you seen either cars pulling over, pulling out they camera phones, recording it, or people at like a bus stop, or just people walking along the sidewalk just recording it. Because again, it is kind of captivating when you see a whole bunch of dirt bikes, motorcycles just coming down the street. Like, that's not a normal thing that you see on a daily basis. And because it's summertime, you know, we outside. That's just what it comes down to. And for the most part, like I said, it was an enjoyable experience. It was a fun experience. And once we got to the destination, we even had more fun, even though it was hot. So we got a little VIP section up there, and kind of just had a good time. But I might have to add some music to this audio, because again, you had to be there to really experience what the fun we had. And like I said, when you're trying to edit these videos all up, there's only so much you can capture. So for the most part, it's just something that you had to be there to really experience. And I think they were memorable moments, because again, I'm sure people were networking, people were meeting new people, so on and so forth. So at the end of the day, you get to learn new shit about other people that you don't normally ride with. And again, you can always collab later down the line, or you can kind of meet up with them and see, whenever they riding, or if you want to learn certain things that they got, that they can do, that can be an interest to some people. So I'm just not that type of person where I'm like, yo, show me how to wheelie a Hayabusa. That shit fucking heavy. That shit's 600 plus pounds, so it ain't gonna happen. So, and you got to see all the styles that kind of come out on a bike. Like, you had like Erin, who had her whole pigtail thing going on out her helmet, which is a style that most females have on their helmets. I've seen some chicks have they bike wrapped in different, like, kind of girly a girly wrap on a motorcycle. You got people who just about fashion on their bikes. Like they like to match their bikes in the clothes they wear. So it's just like I said, it's different kind of spectacles that go on in bike life, and you get to just enjoy it all. And like I said, you got now the guys that are, I understand it was 100 degrees, right? But for the fellas that was just, no shirts and everything, if they fell, they all fucked up in this game now. Because listen, one thing I've learned in my years of motorcycling, the concrete is undefeated. So as many bikers that was out there, it was someone was bound to have an accident. And if you don't have your gear on, you gonna be fucked up in this game, because falling on hot ass concrete, bare skin, yeah, that's not fun at all. I've seen I've seen so many accidents where they they skin was to the white meat, like that fucked up because they don't wear gear. And I get it. Sometimes wearing a lot of gear, you be extra hot. Sometimes I'll be sweating just putting on gear because it's just hot. But for the ones that just come out with just basically some sneakers and jeans on and a tank top, I'm assuming they're experienced riders. But like I said, it's only so much you can control, because you can't control other riders, you can't control other cars, and you could just take it could be one slip up and you fucked up in this game. And like I said, if you fall on this concrete, it's a wrap for you, because it was hot as shit. I know how my sneakers feel. Imagine how your skin feel when you fall on that motherfucking concrete. So I kind of make it you know my job to, before I leave the house, I always check my tires. I do it like a little safety check, basically, and I make sure I'm kind of geared up for the ride. Now, again, it do be times where I don't wear full gear, but I mean that's the risk I take. But in group rides like this, I make sure that I'm geared up. So I'm, like I said, I got Under Armour everything going under my regular clothes. So shin pads, knee pads, a whole hip pads. It's like I'm going to a football game out this bitch. Um, yeah, chest, back, everything protected. Because again, I've seen so many accidents, and I even seen people who died on motorcycles because, you know, you just never know. You just never know when a car come out, or you at a intersection, and you know you wasn't alert and somebody hit you, or you hit somebody. So i I try to lower the risk, because we all got, family and friends to go home to, and shit, they, you not being here is going to be a problem. Especially if you got kids. I ain't got no kids, but for the ones that do got kids, you run a risk every time you step outside. And that's not just on a motorcycle. That could be in a car. That could be anywhere. Planes, trains, and automobiles out this bitch. But yeah, so that's just my little 2 cents on that. But for the ones that were in my crew, or in, around us, um they kind of know how we vibe. So we won't be on no bullshit. We just have a good time when we go home. That's just what it comes down to. So most people that hang with us are more mature folks anyway. So we don't I ain't gonna say we don't hang around a bunch of young hotheads, but for the most part my crew is pretty much 30 plus, I guess you could say. And when you're 30 plus, it's kind of like, listen, you got other shit to worry about. You got either a career, family, kids, something like that, and you ain't trying to get into, no bullshit. You just trying to have a good time and take your ass home. And that's the whole goal, is to get back home. So that's kind of how we play it. And anybody that knows me and my crew, no one gets left behind. So when it's time to go, we all out. You know what I mean? So, and we make sure we all ride back home together, and make sure if anybody goes down, we stay with them to make sure they get home safely. So, and that's just part of being a more mature crowd, I guess you could say. So I like to think that anyone in my crew are comfortable around each other and kind of know, the unspoken language when shit happens. So they never have to worry about, somebody leaving them if they caught a flat or they crashed or anything of that magnitude, because we're going to make sure that you get home safe, and then we'll chop it up the next day. So one thing I do got to say, we got to start monitoring one of my boys, because he get the drinking and it's hot. He don't. You get a little concerned. So that person know who he is. Bro, we're gonna start monitoring your drinking consumption, because you was done, like done, and it's kind of hard to say, yo, you good, and do we need to call you an Uber? Because most people ain't gonna want to just, the event we were at, you don't want to leave your bike there because it might not be there the next day. So we had to kind of run the risk of, yo, you look a little tipsy, I need you to stay in the pack. But again, because he was a little tipsy, this motherfucker wanted to go 100 miles an hour, and I was like, I hope you're going 100 miles an hour to get your ass home, because we told you to stay in the pack. And now you can't control grown men, but we was trying to, err on the side of caution, and we like, yo, I think it was about 8 of us. I was like, yo, just stay in the pack with us. We'll make sure, you get home. But as soon as we hit the highway, this motherfucker wanted to go. So I was just like, listen, I tried. That's all I can tell you. But he got home safe. He didn't answer once I sent out the text to say, the group chat to say, yo, everybody home safe. I think he went straight to sleep. But I did talk to him the next day, so he was good. But I know for, on a go forward basis, motherfucker, you ain't drinking no more. You drink water, nigga. That's just what it gonna come. That's just what it come down to. And you know who you are. I'm just not gonna say your name, but anybody who was with me, they know who that person was. So as we were arriving to the event, I had a couple of my other boys that were already there. They didn't take the ride because some of them live in that area, so they're just like, I don't want to double back. I might as well just go to the spot. And they set up, and once we got there, table was ready, everything. So we had a little organization going on. So, and it was, like I say, it was a good time. As you can see, it was at I think it was called La Curva restaurant, which is a Latino spot in Laurel, Maryland. So as we were pulling up, everything already was set up, and music was going. All right, I'm gonna say this one thing. I went last year. I thought last year was better because from the time we were there, they only had two strippers. I guess 2 stripper wash bikini girls, and they were kind of trife to me. So I'm sorry to say that, but they were. So again, y'all, they were slacking on the women that was washing bikes, because I remember last year I went, it was about 5 to 7 of them, and it seemed like it was just these 2. And I mean, I understand people was just having fun, I get it, but I wasn't impressed. So I'll just leave it at that. But just, we still had a good time because of the people I was around. So that's it for part 2. Hope y'all like it. Peace. I'm out of here.